Let's go ahead and do another synthetic division problem. So I'm going to go ahead and list out all the potential rational zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Those are factors of 18. And then we have the factors of 1 or 1. So since we're dividing all of them by 1, it's literally just positive negative 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, or 18. So let me just erase that. So we need to go ahead and find a factor or a zero of this function. So I can go ahead and try a few. In fact, let's go ahead and try 2. So I have 2 to the 5th minus 4 comes to the 4th plus 4 comes 2 to the 3rd minus 6 comes 2 squared plus 3 comes 2 plus 18. All right, so if I go ahead and calculate that, we actually get 0. That's exactly what we wanted. So that worked out well. Good first guess. So I'm going to go ahead and do my synthetic division. 1, 4, 4, 6, 18. Now, if I didn't guess well the first time, you just have to keep guessing. So first thing I'm going to do is drop down that 1 and go ahead and do my synthetic. 2, 2. The 0 that I want. All right, at this point, you're going to notice that there are actually 4 terms. I'm going to write them down right here. So this will be x to the 4th minus 2x cubed minus, so that's the x squared term, so this is minus 6x minus 9. Now, the only way we know how to do 4 terms is grouping. So I'm just going to check to see if grouping is going to work on this. Well, if I pull it next to the 4th, it'll give me x minus 2. And this one, if I pull out a negative 3, I would end up with 2x plus 3. Once again, these do not match up, so I can't pull out a greatest common factor, which means I'm actually going to have to do synthetic division factoring again. So we now need to find a number, and I shouldn't have erased this. I'll rewrite it. We want to find a number for this function, or we need to find a 0 for this new function. It could be 2 again, it could be something else. I'm going to go ahead, and try negative 1. That's how negative 1 works. So if I do negative 1, nice thing about doing negative 1 is you just add the coefficients together, but like Descartes' rule of signs, anytime you have an odd exponent, you just switch the sign of those coefficients. Everything else stays the same. This will stay 1, it'll be a positive 2, positive 6, and negative 9. Well, 1 plus 2 plus 6 gives you 9, so 9 minus 9 is 0, so negative 1 worked. So I'm going to go ahead and put negative 1 in my box. Oops. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my synthetic division from there, ignoring the remainder that I had before. So I drop down my 1, and I go negative 1. It's negative 2. Okay, so once again, you're going to look at this, and we're going to notice that there are 4 terms again. Rather than having to write it out this time, I'm going to show you a way you can double check to see if grouping will work. Well, 1 and negative 3, your greatest common factor of 1 and negative 3 is 1. So that's going to stay 1 and negative 3. For 3 and negative 9, your greatest common factor is 3. So if I divide each one by 3, I'll get a 1. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. That's going to match up with my original pair. So that tells me I can use grouping method. I can get out of synthetic at this point. So we need to write all our answers. Don't forget our zeros. So we have a 0, 2, which means we have a factor of x minus 2. We have a 0 of -1, so I have a factor of x plus 1. And then we also have this x squared, or x cubed, minus 3x squared plus 3x minus 9. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my grouping method with that. So I'm going to split it. Greatest common factor is x squared. I have an x minus 3. And then my greatest common factor over here is 3. If I divide each term by 3, you get x minus 3 as well. So they are common, so we have a common factor. I'm going to write these other two factors first, though, before I write that. We still have this x minus 2 and this x plus 1. So we'd have x minus 3, and then we'd also have our x squared plus 3 after we pull out the greatest common factor. And x squared plus 3 does not factor more, since 3 is not a perfect square and it's not a difference, so we're not subtracting. Therefore, this would be your final answer.